I know how this works. I know your thumb is hovering right now, already trained to move on. Another voice, another story, another promise, asking for your time. You've been here before. You've been disappointed before. So have I. But I'm asking you quietly, honestly, without tricks. Don't skip these 2 minutes. Not because I need the view, not because the algorithm is hungry, but because somewhere in these words there might be a mirror, and mirrors matter when you're trying to remember who you are. I won't shout, I won't rush, I'll sit with you the way you wish someone would. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to feel everything I feel. You just have to stay. Because the truth is, most of us leave too early. We leave conversations before they get real. We leave feelings before they ask something of us. We leave ourselves before we understand what we're running from. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to tell you that you're not strange for feeling the way you do. There's a quiet exhaustion that doesn't show on the face. It lives behind the eyes. It shows up when the room is silent and your mind isn't. It's the tiredness of pretending you're fine when fine has lost all meaning. You wake up, you move, you function. People think functioning is the same as living. It isn't. Living has breath in it. Functioning just has momentum. Some days you feel like you're carried by habit, not hope. You do what you're supposed to do. You say what you're expected to say. And somewhere between all of that, you lose track of your own voice. When was the last time you heard yourself, really heard yourself without judgment? We're taught to keep going. We're rarely taught to check in. So let me ask you something gently. How are you doing when no one is watching? Not the version you show online, not the version you offer when someone says, "What's up?" in passing. The real answer, the one that doesn't fit in a sentence. If your answer is messy, that's okay. Life isn't a clean paragraph, it's a collection of half finished thoughts and feelings that don't always make sense. I think we're all carrying things we don't know how to put down. Old words, old moments, old versions of ourselves we outgrew but never buried. There are memories that don't hurt loudly. They just ache quietly, like weather in the bones. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. You can be loved and still feel lonely. Those things don't cancel each other out, they coexist. And when you try to explain that, people tell you to be grateful, as if gratitude erases pain, as if acknowledging blessings means you're not allowed to struggle. That's not how the heart works. The heart doesn't run on logic, it runs on experience. Some experiences teach you how to smile, others teach you how to survive. Both leave marks. You don't have to justify your heaviness to deserve compassion. You don't need a dramatic reason to feel tired. Sometimes the weight comes from holding it together for too long. We praise strength without asking what it costs. We admire resilience without checking the cracks it creates. Strong people break quietly, often alone, and when they finally slow down, they feel guilty for resting, as if peace has to be earned through suffering. Let me tell you something you might not hear enough. You are allowed to pause without permission. You don't owe the world constant productivity. You don't owe anyone a performance. Your worth is not measured by how useful you are. I know that's hard to believe. We live in a world that counts everything: followers, grades, money, achievements. But the things that matter most are impossible to quantify. How deeply you feel, how honestly you love, how gently you treat yourself when no one is watching. Those things don't trend, they endure. If you're still here, thank you. That alone tells me something about you. It tells me you're not afraid of stillness. Or maybe you are, but you stayed anyway. Courage doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like listening. There's a version of you that's been patient for a long time, waiting for acknowledgement, waiting for rest, waiting for someone to say, I see how hard this has been. So let me say it now. I see it. I see the effort behind the smile. I see the restraint behind the silence. I see the battles you don't post about. You're not weak for feeling deeply. You're human. Being human is complicated. It's wanting connection and fearing it at the same time. It's craving change while clinging to familiarity. It's knowing something isn't right but not knowing what to do next. You don't need all the answers today. You just need to keep asking honest questions like, what do I need right now? Not what's expected, not what looks impressive, what actually helps. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's distance, maybe it's honesty, maybe it's simply allowing yourself to feel without immediately trying to fix it. Emotions are not problems, they're signals, and ignoring signals doesn't make them disappear. It just makes them louder later. If you've been holding everything inside, I want you to know something important. You don't have to carry it all at once. Healing doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in small, quiet decisions, choosing to breathe, choosing to speak, choosing to stay. Some days, choosing to stay is enough. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when your past feels heavier than your future, when you wonder if things will ever feel different. Those moments don't define you, they pass even when they linger. You are not behind in life, there is no universal timeline. You are not late, you are learning, and learning takes time. If this feels like it's speaking directly to you, that's not an accident. It means you're listening, means something in you is awake. Hold on to that. The world can be loud and careless, it can rush you into becoming someone you don't recognize. Resist that. Protect the parts of you that are soft. They are not flaws, they are evidence that you are alive. I'm not asking you to change everything today. I'm just asking you not to disappear from your own life. Don't skip to yourself. Don't skip your feelings. Don't skip the quiet moments that are trying to teach you something. 2 minutes can't change your whole life, but they can remind you that you're still here, that you still feel, that you still matter. And sometimes that reminder is enough to keep going if no one has told you this today. Let me be the one. You are not alone in this feeling. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not invisible. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving yourself these 2 minutes. And if you need to hear it one more time, don't skip yourself. Not today. If you're still here, it means something already shifted. Maybe not loudly, maybe not in a way you can explain yet, but you stayed, and staying is never accidental. Most people don't stay, they scroll, they escape, they distract themselves into numbness. So, if you're listening again, I want you to know this part is quieter and deeper. Part 1 was about stopping, part 2 is about what happens after you stop. Because when the noise fades, something uncomfortable appears. You, not the version you present, not the version you edit, the unfiltered one, the one who has been waiting patiently behind all the distractions. And I know that version can be heavy to sit with. Silence has a way of bringing old things back, thoughts you postponed, feelings you delayed, questions you were afraid to ask because you didn't know what the answers might cost. But listen to me carefully. Now, avoidance doesn't protect you, it only delays the conversation. You've been strong for a long time, not the loud kind of strong, the quiet kind, the kind that keeps going even when it doesn't feel meaningful anymore. That kind of strength doesn't get applause, it gets exhaustion, and exhaustion doesn't mean you failed, it means you've been carrying more than anyone noticed. Somewhere along the way, you learned to minimize yourself, to say it's fine when it wasn't, to smile so others wouldn't ask questions you didn't have answers for. You became good at surviving, but surviving was never meant to be the destination. There's a difference between being alive and feeling alive. And if you're honest, you've been operating on autopilot lately. Days blending together, moments passing without leaving a mark. You do things, but you don't feel present in them. That's not laziness, that's disconnection. And disconnection often begins when we stop listening to ourselves. You ignored small signs at first, the tiredness, the irritation, the quiet sadness that didn't have a clear cause. You told yourself you'd deal with it later, when things slowed down, when life became easier. But life doesn't slow down on its own. It keeps moving until you decide to stop running with it. So here you are again, 2 minutes, another pause, and I want to ask you something gently. without pressure. What have you been pretending not to feel? There's something powerful about naming things, even silently, even imperfectly, because unnamed pain has a way of controlling us. Named pain can be understood. You don't need dramatic words. You don't need a perfect explanation. Sometimes I'm tired is enough truth for one day. We live in a world that celebrates progress but ignores process. People love the glow up. They don't want to see the breakdown that came before it. But growth is rarely pretty, it's uncomfortable.